Okay, ladies and gents, welcome. I am not entirely sure what to say about this match here at the start. I'm not sure if these are players playing on Xbox or not. But as I look over here at one player who has not done anything, I can tell you it's Lola Legends 1v1 in Age of Empires 2. So recently, wait a second. Okay, here we go. We got movement for Guigway. I can't say his name. We got movement for this individual. Okay. Um, Recently, Age of Empires 2 was expanded to the Xbox. There have been a lot of people playing on Xbox. There is no way in the game for me to know if someone is actually playing on an Xbox or not, because the Xbox symbol showing next to their names in the game could also mean that they just happen to be playing on Game Pass. But I mean, Red's learning here. Red hasn't created a villager yet, and then over here, we are seeing Blue make houses as is Red, and Blue has created a few more villagers. So really good start for Blue, but I think we're coming in here, and these guys are like fresh, super fresh to the game, and also playing on a console. So I'd expect things to develop a little bit slower than my average cast here. But let's see. We have the Franks for, let's see if I can say this, Guigway. And then we have Crazy Kev. I mean, this is a console name if I've ever seen it. Over here in the blue. And we have Gurjaras for Crazy Kev. For Red, we've got Franks. And Gurjara's already benefiting Crazy Kev here. I don't know if he knows that you can garrison the sheep inside of a mill with the Gurjaras. I'm going to assume not. But you do get the forge bushes underneath the TC with this if, which was an immediate thing that Blue decided to focus on here. The map is Golden Pit, and on Golden Pit, you have a heavy focus on the middle. Again, I'm really excited because these guys are fresh to the game. They probably don't know me. They probably don't watch videos. They're probably learning hotkeys and things like that. And playing on console, I've watched it. It's just more difficult. Can you do things? Yes, you can. And we had a really cool cast a couple weeks ago with it. But it feels as though there's a learning curve there. So my instincts are absolutely saying console as opposed to players who are playing on Game Pass who might be playing with keyboard and mouse. So, all right. So issue for Blue here is Blue made this beautiful little house area and now it doesn't have the wood for a mill or a lumber camp. Another small issue for Blue is that these villagers are kind of hard to see. Here, actually, I can turn on, I don't have the high graphics. There we go. So I don't know what type of screen you're playing on. Maybe you've got like this big screen TV right now if you're Blue. But it doesn't matter whether you play on console or PC. I think we all have forgotten to check our idle. Actually, I assume there's going to be an idle villager hotkey, right? We've all not known about the idle villager hotkey or not checked it, or also just not seen things behind the graphics in the game. So on this side, we did have a mill now for Red, which you'd like to see. And while the start was a little rough here, both players are at 10 villagers, and both players have been creating villagers pretty consistently. Adam says, I play on Xbox. I don't think I've ever played someone at this low of skill. Well, one of these players has 2 games, one 1v1 and one team game. The other player has 0 games. And unfortunately, the website aw2.net is such a buggy mess, I can't actually go through a list of all games anymore. I only have like the list which is within the game, which gives me a limited supply of games. So I just kind of went with it. This looks like Auto Scout right now for Crazy Kev. All right. So Auto Scout's probably a really good thing if you're struggling to manage the basics of the game. Tossing that scout on Auto Scout's always going to be really helpful. And yeah, while the Gurjaras do have the bonus being able to put the sheep inside the mills here, I don't think we're going to see it. I mean, there's the mill now, but there's no... I don't think there's anything that really tells you can do that. You just have to know. And it feels pretty natural for Crazy Kev to just keep those goats underneath the TC and eat them. But, you know, I think a big question when casting, players who are so new is, what do they know about the game, right? Both in their units, but also, like, requirements and Do they have any type of game sense? Like right here, this might not seem like the biggest deal, but this is always something that I associate with someone who's very new to the game, because gold and stone doesn't become important in Age of Empires 2 really until Feudal Age onwards. So this is something that I expect to see as well from Blue, and I think they're going to do something along the lines of what I used to do, where you send like 2 to 3 villagers on stone, 2 to 3 villagers on gold, and then you eventually go to feudal, and then whatever resources you have. You just want a little bit of everything, because you don't have an order. You don't even have a plan, really. It does feel like Blue really wants a lumber camp, or some building right now, because Blue just pulled villagers off of berries and went to that tree. Okay. Red found some additional goats. Red refuses to make a lumber camp. But it's probably the low elo outlook of, why do I need to invest wood into a lumber camp when I could just walk and get these trees that are free, man? I heard rumor of Xbox players not being able to garrison. Garrison in general, or garrison the sheep inside the mill? Well, I know when they released the Xbox patch that it screwed up. Like, we had to revert the patch with an old patch link for Titans League, because when they released the Xbox version, it screwed up the way units interact with each other. And I also know that they had released a patch 2 weeks ago, which they reverted themselves. Like, Microsoft officially reverted it themselves like 6 hours later, because nobody could play on Xbox. But I have not heard that you can't garrison. I imagine they should be able to garrison. Holy crap, the whole town is building these houses. It's like, well, if you want to live here, you got to put in some work here, okay? I'm just going to have one guy build all the houses and let all the people live in it. We can't have that. Gotta love the similarities between these two right now. How the houses have to look amazing. And they're also going to finish the berries at almost the exact same time. Forge bush is here, 60 food. Forge bush here, 31 food. All right, I think red is winning the Great House War. Oh my god, I just realized blue hasn't created a villager in a hot minute. 13 villagers for blue, 22 for red. A big advantage for red then. You absolutely need to continue to produce villagers, because those villagers are going to bring in resources for you. Okay, so we have some farming economy for red. Some around the TC, some around the mill. Red still doesn't have a lumber camp. Red, please don't seed more farms and run out of wood for a lumber camp. You have a lot of vills, which I guess is great. But please just use the rest of this wood here on your screen to invest into a lumber camp. Lumber camp is going to make your life so much easier. This is a lot of villager walking time. In fact, let's look at the stats for these vills. Look at all the moving time. A third of their life they've been moving. I'm sure that's great for their cardio. Okay, here we go. You have the wood now, red. You're about to chop every single bit of wood on your screen. Blue has clicked up to feudal and then queued up 13 villagers. So blue, blue forgot temporarily, but it's fine. Also did make a lumber camp. Doesn't have near as many villagers, but that's fine. And there's a lumber camp now for red. Kind of bothers me that he waited so long to build one and then left 16 wood on this tree. But live your dream. It's fine. I would still prefer red's position right now. Ooh, red wants a mining camp on that stone. Ooh, you know where the mining camp's gonna be, right? It's gotta be right between the stones. We've made jokes about mining camps like that in the past in this series, but only when it's inefficient. It would actually be very efficient. So I imagine we're going to see a mining camp eventually. Oh, wow. Okay, so blue has attacked the mining camp, and red sees it. And I don't know if blue did that on purpose, but the camel can't run away now, and the camel's dead, and we have our first blood. Yeah. Villagers, did they repair the mining camp? They repaired the mining camp. Okay. Good use of your wood. Alrighty. Feudal Age is on the way soon for red. Oh, God. Red's using, like, the whole economy to build these things. So that's been... Let's talk about the trends for each player so far. Both players like to make houses in the little housing blocks, which is cute. Both players relate to their lumber camp. Red produces more villagers, or at least has up to this point. And Red likes to command units to do... Red likes to get large groups of units and give them commands. There's no individual focus. But think about it. You don't have a mouse cursor. You've just got, like, the Xbox controller. It must be... Like, I'm getting stressed out just thinking about having to do that. You just can't be as precise on a controller. That's just the fact of the matter. And so these villagers went over here. He realized, oh, shoot. Okay, never mind. Don't have enough jobs. And now we're going to go here. And now it's... Wait a second. Now we're going to go here. Oh, mining camp in the middle. Okay. Mining camp in the middle. So we're going to mine stone and gold in the middle, I imagine. Where these two villagers still don't have a mining camp. But that's the focus on the map, right? Is that middle area. And blue hasn't scouted a lot of it, actually. Blue did go for the wood upgrade. Blue also went for the farm upgrade. Those are things you like to see. The Franks, which is red civilization, will get the farm upgrade for free. And we've got a barracks here. We also had 2 militia created for red. Likely for defensive measures. I don't think this is going to be an offensive thing, but who knows. Okay. So red's just going crazy on the gold. And now villagers are leaving the gold again, and they're going to do something else. Really trying to stretch the limits of the stats here. Look at the jobs. I have never seen a group of villagers do so many different jobs. Wood, food, gold, building, repairing, moving, other, and idle. Is there even anything else? Stone. I think the only thing that's missing for these villagers is stone. And here come the militia. And the militia are just here to protect. They don't attack, they just protect. All right. I love this, man. I love this. These guys are fresh to the game. Probably wouldn't be playing the game if it wasn't released on console. And they're pumped. They're pumped to be playing it. All right, man-at-arm upgrade on the way. More units on the way. Red did scout that blue is over here. So could always attack, and I definitely feel like this is a rank where if there's an early attack with man-at-arms, one player might just resign. I don't know, though. I'm not too sure. We got 2 stables here for blue. It's 26 villagers for blue with wheelbarrow. It is 28 villagers for red without wheelbarrow. And so their idle TC time is somehow very close. About 9 minutes for both players. Obviously, there's lots of gold income right now for red. But blue still has gold available at home. It's just eventually you want to control the stone and gold in the middle. All right, can we talk about the worker efficiency? Worker efficiency overall, 57% for red, 63% for blue. It's because red has been walking a lot. And oh my god, these villagers are leaving the middle again. It's red's favorite thing ever. Just to relocate these villagers. Where are they going? I wish I could hotkey them. It's hard. I can't really do that with Capture Age. They're going to wood now? I swear he must have them on a group, like a control group or something. But they have now been moving more than really any other task in their lives. But maybe this is red thinking, I need more wood. So it's not a bad thing for red to realize that there's a resource imbalance. Red's making archers with the man-at-arms. Red's made a lot of army. Blue has actually made more camels, which only the Gurjaras can do in Feudal Age. Now, what blue would want to do is farm away here. Most important skill you can have in Age of Empires 2, after things like just having hotkeys to produce units, right? Making it easier for you to do those things, is looking at your resources and thinking, what do I need more of? What do I need less of? Right now, you need more food if you're blue, and you have a lot of wood. So you can farm to get that wood. Or you could use all your wood for houses, I guess. And blue continues to place houses. When will blue stop? Question for any of my console players. Question for any of my console players. How easy is it for for you to delete stuff. Like, if this foundation bothered you and you wanted to replace it all. This guy's never going to need more houses. I'm just curious. Like, I imagine there's a hotkey associated with it. Okay. Oh. Scout attacked. Blue reacts. And we've got camels here. And the scout runs away. Sneaky move. Look what that has done. Like, it freaked Blue out, but Blue says, no, I'm back to work now. Thank you. You have to select it, which sucks, and then you hold RB and LB to delete. Okay, and I imagine, does it let you customize hotkeys? Just curious. Or is it just one set of hotkeys that you have to stick with, regardless? Yeah, so you'd have to select it, which is just, it just feels like extra work on a console, right? That's not hard, you just have to hit LB and RB at the same time. I was just curious if you can customize the hotkey. Like, if I were to play, I might say, I guess you wouldn't want to put on X or something. LB, RB makes a lot of sense. I might do like L3 or something, I don't know. Guys, if Red were to have attacked with this army, Red would have done a lot of damage. Now, Camel Scouts are good against Scouts. They're not really that good against anything else. So let's see what Blue can accomplish here. Here come the Camels, heading right over towards Red's base. I don't think Blue has any clue or had any clue that the villagers were here. So here we go, and we're seeing a feudal age attack, 28 minutes, 35 vills for one player, 30 for another. Remember, there was that camel that had accidentally attacked the mining camp earlier, and now these camels are going to attack the archer range. So you have the camels now attacking the vills. These are the same vills that killed their friend. And, well, the villager's going to survive, actually, because the camels are now attacking the archers and the man-at-arms. I believe archers and man-at-arms will do just fine here. Red's going to feel very happy about this and think, man, this is why we made army. Let's go. Because had you not made anything, that could have been a big problem. Okay. I think you can change controls, but selecting unit/buildings can be goofy. Bad part of deleting is you have to hold LB and RB for like 3 seconds per delete. You have to hold it for 3 seconds? Really? Okay. Well, you know, it's all, like someone said it's not hard. Other people are saying, why even play RTS on a console? It all depends, right? I come at this from the perspective of knowing what's possible on PC and mouse. A lot of people who play on console, they don't have a PC, or you know, maybe they just got like a crappy laptop to do a couple Excel spreadsheets. They don't necessarily want a PC game. So it's a matter of what you're used to. And so I think so I know some people who've been playing on console who started on PC and mouse, and they have some nice perspectives for me as a caster to be able to kind of explain like what's harder, what's easier, right? And in general, basically what I've heard thus far is it is way more difficult. It is way more difficult to play on a console, but it's possible. And for some people, it might be more relaxing, too. You get to chill out on your couch and sit back and have some Cheeto dust on your chest, you know, from your snacking earlier. A little stereotypical, I guess. Now, here's the thing about the camels. The camels, they are currently camel scouts. When you arrive to Castle Age, they are automatically then camel riders. So they have more attack, more bonus damage, etc. So it's just a better version of what you have already. It's still not a great unit against men-at-arms and archers. But it is better than you have currently. Now, look at Blue. I think Blue has a really solid grasp on what to... Whoa, what did I just do? I'm so sorry. I think Blue has a really solid plan here. So, initially I wasn't sure he did. He went for that attack, it got thwarted, but when he looked back at the map, he might have seen that there's a mining camp in the middle, and he certainly knows now that there's a lot of gold in the middle. So what he's done is he's got his army, he's getting additional upgrades in the blacksmith, and he's probably going to try and run to the middle to drop a castle. That's probably Red's plan as well. Red, being Franks, has cheap castles, so might even be able to make 2 of them there. Red will be later to Castle Age, but guys, it is 35 villagers for both. This is really cool. The fact that we had one player play 2 games and lost both of them, by the way. I don't know which one. And the other player hasn't played any games. They're playing on console, which is just so different from what has happened in the past with Age of Empires 2. And the game is this close is awesome. And this game's happening right now. Just hopped into it. It was one of the few games I could find on Golden Pit that was lower elo. In this case, they don't actually really have a rank yet. And Blue's going to make more houses in the back. Yeah, I did notice this house here not being finished. That's going to be a frustrating one for some of you. But oh man, the timing and the position of the castle is so important here. Yeah. I'm a little nervous for these guys. Has anyone got Capture Age working on the Game Pass version of the game? As far as I know, it doesn't work on the Game Pass version of the game. That's the last I heard, Scorch, was that was the situation. Okay. So they're both in castle now. They might be looking through. They have a little circular option window. Like you select your villas and you got an option for what you want to build. Might be looking through that. But Blue's actually going to drop a castle here, which you have to question big time. There's limited gold up here. You're actually house walling around your other golds here, Blue. They're just not really playing the map properly if you're placing a castle there. We'll see what Red does. Red does the same thing. Defensive castles. And I mean, you're Franks, so you have cheap castles. You could afford another one right now in the middle. That seems like a good plan to me. Next Red Bull tourney should be the same pros, but on Xbox. No, I don't think that'd be very good. I don't know if I would fly all the way to Germany to cast that. Sorry, Brad. Okay, so Red was very clicky earlier, and would take villagers off of different tasks, and Red just straight up didn't finish this castle. So that has me a little concerned. I wonder if we're going to see maybe some chakrams created out of the castle from Crazy Kev. Okay. We've got a monastery, so Blue knows about relics then, huh? You would assume so. And relics can be really good in these games because they do give you some gold. And there we go. Now Red is going to finish this castle. Housing in the gold is giving me an aneurysm. It's all right. He didn't finish the houses yet. Because the villager's stuck. Blue will learn this with time, guys. I think the more experienced Age watchers and players know that trying to build that many houses at the same time is just asking for a villager to get trapped or for a house not to be completed. Earlier, the house wasn't completed here, and now the villager's completely trapped. Okay, so there is a monk out of the monastery. So Red is a really crazy army composition. Red's got 40 army, and there's no upgrades, but he is upgrading the units themselves. He didn't stay on man-at-arms, he went to longsword. He didn't stay on archer, he went to crossbowman. It is a very AI-looking army composition, but with Red taking all that golden stone in the middle and having this army at home, I prefer Red's position. We'll see what Blue has planned. Blue's got tons of food. And look, now Red's even going to make pikemen. And the thought process is, how can they counter me if I make everything? I don't think this is the tutorial they're following. This is exactly how I used to play before I played the tutorial. Yeah, I mean, everything about this game here reminds me of when I used to play on PC and mouse too. They definitely understand various aspects of the game. Red especially reminds me of someone who has just started their Age of Empires journey with the varied army composition and making a little bit of everything. The houses being in a perfect box. Taking the golden stone very early. I like what I'm seeing here. Blue has 49 villagers, though. Blue will forget to make villas and then queue up 15 villas and then go back and revisit it later. It's really smart to do. If you struggle to go back to your TC all the time for whatever reason, just queue up as many as you can think of. Or as many as possible, which would be 15, obviously. Oh, God, there's no loom, guys. There's no loom. This could be the first death of the game for the villagers. Woo, 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 woo! Get wrecked. Yeah, loom is kind of important, especially for red. Does red have loom? Yeah, I mean, loom is just... It's going to be a really big deal if we see fighting in the middle against villagers. So red is taking the gold in the middle, but not protecting the gold in the middle. Fascinating. Like, I get this first castle, but you already have an army here and one castle. I would have preferred to build the next castle here. So, lessons will be learned here in this game, I believe. Blue hasn't exactly moved around too much. Oh, blue's scouting right now. I see. Ooh, and there's a villager here next to that relic. So we don't take the gold in the middle, but we go for the relics, huh? And scouting. Ooh, ooh, ooh. And uh-oh, we have an attack. There we go. Camels might actually be able to win this because red doesn't have all of his army here. I think this will end up being a good thing for red because, well, assuming red sends its army in, it'll be good for red because red will then keep the army here. And here it comes! Oh my god! That's a massive army. Blue feels like a god right now. Blue's like, I'm killing this guy. Let's go. I love this game. And then, don't like this game anymore. All right, good job from blue to realize to run away. That's a lot of stuff right there from the enemy. And good job from red to react to that eventually. And blue has one relic, but I don't think sees this gold. And the focus on this map is to control the gold. And the opportunity was there for blue. Uh-oh, red. Oh, God, your units. Red. Red, please realize this. Oh, no. Didn't react. Castle fire helping out blue. Red is running away with some of these units. And to be fair, blue also isn't saving villagers. So there's just a lot of different things happening. Chakram throwers are going to be pretty good in mass against the units that red has. But, wow, an eventful game. Tactical retreat indeed. I mean, pulling units from your opponent into castle fire, it's not a new strat, right? That's something people have been doing for a very long time. Just a lot, like, you've limited stone and gold up on your hill. And blue really seems to have no problem with investing into staying up on the hill instead of going to the middle. Red's got, whoa, tons of mangonels as well. So yeah, we've seen axemen, knights, pikemen, light cav, longswords, crossbowmen. Only thing we haven't seen really is like monks. Wonder if red is going to consider coming down this way. Red doesn't see this. It is 44 villagers versus 34 villagers, but we have 0 villagers on gold right now for blue. And that villager is going to continue to wall here. I wonder if they know that you can sell resources at the market. If blue knew that, blue could sell off a lot of that food and get a ton of gold. I'm going to assume that they don't have that knowledge. That's something that comes later. But maybe I'm wrong. Like, neither of them even made a market here. Red doesn't have any blacksmith upgrades, by the way. Blue has a couple blacksmith upgrades. Red might get a little bit nervous that the opponent is in the Imperial Age. Red just got a ball of army here or a ball of army here. Okay. What's the orange number 8 next to Red's name on the score? That's what color he chose in the game. I didn't want to use blue and orange because blue and orange is tough for some people who have color blindness. It's also a bit harder to see orange. So that's just Cap's Rage letting us know what his original color was. Dun 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 dun. More walls over here from blue. Is blue's plan to wait until all the golden stone in the middle is gone and then have the relics and stone walls? That's a bold plan, bro. That is a really bold plan. And now red's gonna wall here too. Red doesn't even know blue has walls. They just think the same. They have the same brain. Oh my word, okay. That's pretty sick, man. Yeah, it's not that walling is bad. Like, red doing it makes more sense to me because it's like I have the middle where I'm vulnerable might be the top. For blue, you're walling off an area that isn't... I don't know, it just doesn't click in my brain right now. But, you know, maybe it will. That's a lot of food banked up. Red not choosing to attack blue's walls at all. And, okay, so blue, guys, important moment here for a variety of different reasons. First off, blue is taking gold again and is getting the gold mining and stone mining upgrade. Second, and most importantly, we have the houses continuing. Will this villager get trapped? It's not going to make the gold much more efficient. But at least that gold is coming in. And we also have 2 relics right now. Okay. Like, blue isn't making a lot of army. Blue doesn't seem to have any interest in running back out here. Red. Uh-oh. That wolf is weak from earlier. Red in an interesting position, I think. Because red has made a lot of army and isn't in the Imperial Age yet. We have heavy camel now for blue. Okay, so blue probably looked at the stables and said, what can I do here? And so blue goes heavy camel, bloodlines, husbandry, and then a camel rider. So yeah, clicked everything except I guess the Sravamsha rider, which is also an option in the stable. And that's relic number 3 coming in. Relic number 4 would be here. Relic number 5 would be here. So I'm not sure if it's just because it's new or not. Because, you know, eventually, you know, sometimes the hype wears off. But honestly, what do you guys think about the console thing? I really am enjoying this. It definitely... What the console games reminds me of, no offense to any console players, is it reminds me of my first year of casting Loyal Legends. Where it was like, okay, these guys are truly new to the game. Like, they're solid. They've got some strats, but they're, like, truly new. And these days when I do Loyal Legends, that doesn't happen every time because players are more experienced now at lower elos. But it definitely gives me that fresh newbie feel. Okay, castle in the middle for red. That is castle number 3 in this game. And blue has queued up a bunch of Sravamsha riders. Woo! That's going to be a big army. So the problem for red, yeah, you've got 74 army, but you don't have anything upgraded. And if you do get an upgrade, it's only going to apply to a third of your army, usually. So if you were to get cav armor, it's going to apply to 15 of your 75 units. And then you're going to need to get archer armor, which is going to apply to 35 of your 70-some units. Just a lot of upgrades are needed. I'm going to assume at this point that red doesn't remember blacksmith upgrades are a thing, or even know that blacksmith upgrades are a thing here. And we see a university now. Okay. New houses did complete. Maybe eventually this guy will be free to mingle with the others. Gold is just painful to look at, so I won't show it too much more. We've got heavy camels. Heavy camels with Gurjaras do 40% additional bonus damage in Imp. And then Sravamsha riders are pretty strong against archers, especially archers that don't have upgrades. And then chakrams are fairly good against infantry and archers. So I really am liking blue's position now. Now, what was she doing? Was this the villager that was just standing next to the relic earlier? Oh, no, she was walling. And she didn't complete the wall, and she's coming home anyways. Okay. Well, you're not getting paid in full there, villager. You didn't finish the job. What's up with that? Okay, red might be able to upgrade some of these things here shortly. Because if there's one thing I know about red, red might not know about blacksmith upgrades. But red does know about the unit upgrades. So Franks don't get arbalest, so they'll just stay on crossbowmen. But they do get halb, they do get champion, they do get cavalier. So I think red is going to look to these buildings to see what unit upgrades can come in, and red has found the blacksmith. This is a really big moment in the game, and you can see red just kind of clicking everything now, as you would expect. Just get it all. And blue's doing the same, but with the university. So we have heated shot coming in. It's kind of funny. The other upgrades could be really helpful. Heated shot, though, is a low elo bait. It looks like it'd be helpful. It's called heated shot. I mean, I want my shots to be heated. But actually, what it does is it means your towers and castles do more damage against ships. Unless I've missed something here, unless there's going to be a massive rain shower, I don't think there's going to be any water collecting in the middle, and I don't think there's going to be any space for ships. It sounds way better than chemistry. So I totally understand that. Well, perfectly balanced from blue. Guys, 88 pop, 44 army, 44 eco. What is that? And then 44 eco for red as well. What's up with the 44s? Dang. This is wild. I think that's a first for me. Okay, Cavalier's on the way. Again, as you would expect. I think he's going to go to the range and be like, oh, I can't upgrade my crossbowman. That sucks. And then he's going to go to his barracks, and we're going to see two-handed swordsman come in any moment now. Any moment. He might not have the resources for it. He's making more mangonels and scorpions. A lot of the other techs that blue clicked are actually very helpful. Masonry is helpful. Murder holes is helpful. Fortified wall and guard tower can be helpful if you make walls and towers. And, ooh, now we've got some hand cannons for blue. Wow, so blue knew enough to know that chemistry would unlock hand cannons? Interesting. I mean, maybe he thought heated shot did that. Okay, more blacksmith upgrades coming in here for red. You always want to fight with your strongest type of unit and combine it with a unit that protects it. So, like, if you're Franks... Red might not know this, obviously, but your best units are stable units. You want to be going Cavalier. You want to be going Cavalier, and then you want to think, what can they do to counter my Cavalier? And that's going to be Camel or Halberdier. And so something you can combine against Camel Halb would be something like your own Halbs. That's normally good enough, so like lots of pikes. It's really your number one choice. But, you know, if you're another civilization, maybe you make more archers, so... Because archers can be good against all that. He probably has gold set low on the auto eco. Which one? You think blue or you think red? I still, to really get a feel for how the auto eco works with Xbox, I think I would have to actually like sit down and play it. But, and I have access. I have 2 Xboxes actually. Don't ask me why. But the problem is I really would want to record that journey. And I want to bring you as a viewer along for the ride. And that's just too much headache for me. And there's a way I can do it on my PC with some type of like weird cloud thing, but then the recording quality is not great. So I just, you know, I've been busy. I haven't really gotten around to it. Now these villagers, are they going to automatically go to stone? Okay, it's a mix of stone and gold. Okay, so he's just chilling there taking the resources. And if red's looking... Red could see that one villager on stone. I remember these guys were over here earlier. More and more crossbowmen here from the player who does not get arbalest. It lets you set priorities, so basically you set it to 10% of something, will do said job. Could that explain why Red's villagers have been running all over the place in this game? And maybe it wasn't Red manually telling villagers to go places, but it was him setting the priority. Yeah, the concept of it makes sense to me, right? I understand what you're saying. And they have both banked up quite a lot of resources here. And we now have Arson coming in for Red. That's just going to help him destroy buildings a bit faster with infantry. Not that big a deal. But Castle Fire is a big deal, and I think Blue's just kind of looked away, and honestly, Blue could win this fight so easily, but it's a castle, and it's a scary thing, and there's a lot of anxiety, and Blue doesn't know this, and this is something Red might not even be looking at. I'm not entirely sure, but Blue backs away, as some of Red's units are going to chase, and this is getting closer to conclusion, this game. I really think Blue's army composition is just so much stronger. It's all gold units. You have Shravam Sharider. You've got chakrams, you've got hand cannons, and you've got the camels, and it's a really strong combination. Not to mention the 3 relics as well has helped out a bit. If you change the auto eco, all vills will stop what they're doing and relocate. Okay, it didn't look like all vills earlier. I think that Red's best friend could be the Onager upgrade. Honestly, upgrading the siege could do wonders. Unit control is already kind of difficult with mouse and keyboard. Controlling stuff with on a controller as well. Like, there's no way that you could micro 2 different groups that well, right? I wouldn't expect it. You're probably just patrolling. You're not doing any individual micro, which, to be fair, is the best way to learn the game, anyways. Yeah, maybe. So I could, like, link my streaming account to my Xbox and try it that way. I guess that's the way to do it. So what I'm used to doing, so right now I'm obviously streaming, but I normally stream it and then also record it, and I actually record it in higher quality. But I guess a compromise could be I just stream it, but then I gotta find out, like, how on earth we would get... I don't know how I would get that into YouTube then, later on, right? I don't know. Yeah, maybe something we could look into a little bit. Let's see if blue protects the trebs here. We just have 2 trebs sitting there going for the castle. Red is pulled back. Red seems very concerned. We are seeing the 2-handed swordsman upgrade now, as well as more 2-handed swordsmen. I imagine it'll take Red some time to react here. Blue has brought the Shravamsha riders on the front. He's keeping everything else back right now. And here comes Red. That looks like a select all army, or no, just selected the group and is running forward. Also, I'm not sure what happened to Red's mining camp. Did I miss him losing that somehow? Okay, we've got camels and we've got Shravamshas just passing. You can tell Red just clicked everything onto the trebs here to save the castle. Definitely a situation where if blue just let the units engage, just simply let them go, let them be free, that blue would win this fight. We had a little bit of anti-micro, as I like to say, but yeah, the Guijara's dominating here. And a lot of this is because blue he made a lot of archers. Made a lot of archers with a civ that doesn't have good archers, and then didn't get a lot of upgrades on those archers. And also, truthfully, if we want to take it even more seriously, Guijara's, they can kind of counter everything. Franks are an easy civ to play, but Guijara's have a crazy tech tree right now. They're seeing even more than Franks at a high level these days. So it's 120 kills for blue and 60 deaths. And blue... I think blue uses selects all... I think he uses select all army, if I'm not wrong. All the army moved at the same time. People use that on mouse and keyboard as well. It's something that this would discourage you getting too attached to, because I see a lot of instances where players forget they have army in different spots and they send it all into castles or whatever else. I'm not sure why blue is attacking here and just forgot about the castle. But okay, he's gonna go for this castle now. Red has tried almost everything and has seemingly no answer to this, and is going to just use the siege workshop now and just clicks a couple rams and a couple mangonels and is hoping that that's going to be enough. But I'm sure if you were to ask Red right now if he thought this game was winnable, I think Red would just be like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to make. So I'm going to make what I can. We'll make some swordsmen. We'll make some crossbowmen. We'll make some siege. It's just all the military buildings that are on this screen are going to produce something. And, hey, that's a Doubt Castle right there. My Doubt's face is on it. Failed castle. This castle will probably go down next. And it's going to be almost impossible to come back from this. The army type that blue has is really diverse and really strong. The upgrades are strong. And the momentum is there. I think if you had denied gold from blue and had lots of castles in the middle, maybe there's a chance you can come back, but blue's been taking gold no problem. So, some painful stuff for red. Now, is it possible to say GG on console? I feel like that's not going to be as common either, right? Like, I wonder if there's any quick taunts for that. I imagine we shouldn't expect to see much chatting on console. Like, anytime I chat with anyone on console, it's like through the like DMs. It's not through the game itself. Again, I've never played an RTS game on a console, so. All right, Red, new to the game, coming back to the game. Do we expect the GG here? No, we don't actually. We expect him to fight on until every resource is gone. And part of the fun now is just staying alive for as long as possible. We've been there. Imagine he just goes on till everything is destroyed. I think that's what we should expect here, yeah. And he is trying, right? So we sometimes see instances where players don't try and they just kind of waste the other's time. He's absolutely trying because he is producing what he can here. Ooh, it looks like he's even trying to use the light cav to take out the Treb. The light cav somehow killed a camel in there. What was that? That's funny. But yeah, another castle gets denied. Red now has 4 population. And is just producing out of the barracks and out of the castle right now. I was very impressed with the level of this game. I have to see who is the most experienced between these two. Again, only one player had 2 games. The other one didn't have any. So they're both unranked right now, which is why I just put Xbox with question marks up here. I also have no official way of confirming that this was Xbox, because the way it shows in the game could mean Game Pass or Xbox. I think it's fair to say that it's safe to assume it was console. There were just certain things in how they played this which didn't feel like mouse and keyboard to me. Castle's gone down, and we're gonna see everything else go down. Yeah, honestly, Adam, though, like, I don't think it's fair to say that people are assholes if they don't call GG. I think most games you're not seeing GGs called. These are people who probably have just come back to the game, might not even know it's a possibility, even if they wanted to say GG. And yeah, we at least had a quit there. Or maybe Red just tabbed into another game or something on the Xbox. Good game. So let's look through and see the total stats in this one. Yeah, Blue had more food, more wood, and even more gold in this game. And those relics really made a big difference here. 2,700 gold come in from just collecting 3 relics. Now, remember, Red had control of the middle and never really went crazy with the gold mining there. Actually ended up going more heavy onto stone than anything, and just never really tried to take advantage of the position. Like, Castle Age with all that army, this would have been the perfect time to push. Blue didn't have a castle here. But it's hard to be strategic when you're just learning the game, so it's hard to think when you can attack with your armies. At this rank, normally it's just building up towards the later stages of the game and hoping you have the best position when that time arrives. But it was interesting. I'm still kind of getting used to this whole controller thing. We'll just look through a couple more stats here. We'll look at the APM. Like, what? So Red is way faster. That's got to be controller, right? It has to be controller. 1 eco APM. APM stands for actions per minute. 3 military actions per minute for Blue. Total APM 5 versus 22. And poor Red lost the game anyways. I'm guessing that, like, this is because Red clicked villagers around a bunch of different times. Red was very clicky. And then, do you even call it a click if it's a controller? Button pressy? That's stupid. And then also created a lot of army. So just created the wrong army, and moving the villagers around as frequently as Red didn't actually help. Sometimes it's best to just leave the villagers where they are, focus on making more of them, and seeding some farms here or there. But again, I've always said this with mouse and keyboard. It's really hard for me to truly trust this data. There's different things that can spike these things, so it could just be how they play with their controllers, and maybe they're actually similar speed at the end of the day. All right, so I promised that I would look and see who is the most experienced one here. Okay, so the player who won that was actually the player who had only played 2 games prior to this, and both were losses. So Crazy Kev, congratulations on your very first win. The player who lost, that was just his first loss. So maybe he needs to lose one more, and then maybe his third game will be a victory, just like Crazy Kev.